Carolyn Miles is one of the most influential leaders in international child advocacy, creating change for more than 166 million children in the U.S. and in 120 other countries. As president and CEO of Save the Children, a global nonprofit, she has led with extraordinary courage and vision, more than doubling the number of children the organization reaches with its nutrition, health, and education programs.
Carolyn is a perfect leader for Save the Children. She's the personification of the organization's mission, which is saving children, and she can't do enough, fast enough, to save kids around the world.
Carolyn plays a really important role among her global peers in setting the tone and the leadership for Save the Children that I think has put her in a position where she has great influence.
Carolyn Spear was born in Canton, Connecticut in 1962 and grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Her father worked as a steel industry executive, and her mother stayed at home to raise Carolyn and her 3 brothers.
I think having 3 brothers, first of all, you're not afraid to kind of take things on, both physically, I would say, but as well as kind of, verbally.
Carolyn was a competitive swimmer from the age of 8 to 17.
It was a great opportunity to be part of a team. I think I learned a huge amount from doing that. And eventually I was captain of the team, so I learned something about leadership, too, through swimming.
After graduating from high school, Carolyn went on to study at Bucknell University, where she graduated in 1983 with a degree in animal behavior. Soon after, Carolyn landed a job working in sales at a multinational chemical company.
And I decided I really needed to go back to school to get my MBA, and so I went to University of Virginia.
After earning her MBA in 1988, Carolyn married fellow classmate Brendan Miles and moved to New York City, where she worked in marketing for American Express. When they offered her a position in travel services, the couple moved to Hong Kong, where their first 2 children were born.
Balancing work and family is always tough for women, frankly. And I had 2 little children and a job that I was flying kind of all over Asia. You never feel like you're giving enough to your children. You never feel like you're giving enough to your job.
While traveling in the Philippines on vacation with her family in 1995, Ms. Miles had a life-altering experience.
We were driving into the city of Manila, and I had my 6-month-old in my arms, and we stopped at a stoplight, and a woman came up to the car, and she had a little baby in her arms, and we looked at each other through the window. And that's really, for me, when it struck me that there was just a huge difference between the opportunities that this baby that I held and the baby that this lady held would have. And that's really when I started thinking about there must be something I could do and use the skills I have to do something different that would help children.
When Carolyn Miles and her family moved back to the U.S. in 1996, they moved to Westport, Connecticut. Ms. Miles then transitioned into the nonprofit sector, joining Save the Children as Associate Vice President in 1998. 4 years later, Carolyn and her husband adopted baby Molly from Vietnam.
It ended up to be a very long process. It took us about 2 years to adopt Molly. We're very, very blessed to be able to have adopted her, and she's a wonderful girl.
Ms. Miles quickly climbed the ranks of Save the Children, being promoted to Chief Operating Officer in 2004.
And I got a chance to travel many times to see our programs in the field. And I think that's really the heart of Save the Children. Seeing that work with children, with mothers particularly, just really, I think, served to increase the passion that I had for the mission.
Carolyn Miles has traveled to 70 countries in her leadership work with Save the Children.
I watch with awe when I travel with Carolyn to our programs because before you can even get acclimated, she's sitting on the ground with the kids and sharing the experiences of what these children go through. She's got this amazing warmth and touch that just exudes from her.
In 2011, Carolyn Miles was promoted to President and CEO of Save the Children, the first woman to achieve that position.
I think it's more than just symbolic that we have a woman leading Save the Children. So much of Save the Children's mission is about women and girls. They are the key to really solving so many of the problems in the developing world.
She leads by example. You know about the terrible Ebola outbreak in Liberia. She got on a plane quickly and went there to show people, not only do we need to do stuff, but I'm going there, it's going to be safe for us to go there, and we need to get going because there's desperate need.
I think you've probably heard already, but there has been a second earthquake in Nepal.
Since becoming president and CEO, Carolyn has made hunger, learning outcomes, and ending preventable childhood deaths her signature issues. She was the recipient of Bucknell University's 2011 Distinguished Citizenship Award and has served on numerous boards, including those of Blackbaud, Interaction, USGLC, MFAN, and the Darden School of Business. In 2015, Carolyn Miles was listed as number 36 in Fortune magazine's 50 Greatest Leaders in the World.
She keeps her eye on the long term, not just the immediate challenges, but where do we want to be 10, 20, 30 years down the road? And what do we need to do today and tomorrow to get us on that path?
Carolyn is as good a business person, an operations person that I've ever met in the for-profit sector, but it's accompanied by this sense of mission and passion for what Save the Children does that is so incredibly important. She's got such a hard job, and her extraordinary commitment and resilience is really unmatched in terms of any executive I've ever worked with.
We have this mission of believing that we can actually change the way the world thinks about children and actually change their lives every single day. I actually can't think of anything I would rather do.